Hey, what's going on, everybody? I've got Keith Sheldon with me, along with Avent. We are bringing you guys a sort of close-out episode of a podcast here that we're doing, all three of us. Go ahead and say what's going on, guys.
What's going on?
What is poppin', ladies and gents?
And Avent immediately gets an F because he did not follow instructions. He said, "What's poppin'?" Not what's going
Let's
on.
co-
It's okay. We'll move past it. Come on.
Come on.
You're letting
You'll
the
get, you get
team
a chance
down.
for extra credit later on in the episode, but no. So Keith is doing us all a awesome favor here, and he's put together an awesome slide deck, and he's recording for us. And he woke up at ass crack of Australian dawn to record the
It
thing
wasn't.
for us.
No, it wasn't that late. Problem is, I work until like 12 a.m. So it's like only like 8. It was only like 8:30 when I woke up, but it was like 6.5 hours sleep. So
Oh, that's plenty. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
That's plenty of sleep for a bustling 24-year-old such as
I
yourself.
want to die.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, no. So we've got some slides here. We're just going to talk about the finals matches as they come up for the remainder of season 8 of WPF's main season, as well as our current off-season tour going on right now, which is called Duels. So, Keith, if you would like to go ahead and hit slide there.
Yeah, I did. It's we're all groovy. Yeah, Duels. So, what is Duels? Is it, as I suspect, the sequel to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links?
It is not, as a matter of
Oh.
fact. No, this is the sequel. It's the sequel to what Mentor League should have been, if anybody remembers that from 2 years ago. We had in the WPF, we had a sort of mentor-mentee assignment scenario where, a more experienced person got linked up with somebody who wasn't as experienced, and they built together, scheduled together, and played their matches all in one sort of conducive package. And it was cool. It was a cool concept. However, it had some faults. Those faults, we hope, have been remedied by what we've put into place here called Duels. So,
When did the Mental League happen? Because I don't think I was around for that.
it was forever ago. It was when Techno was in C Division. So that to me says like season 2, season 3 time frame.
Back when everything was as it should be.
That's
I
it, man.
shouldn't
Yeah.
talk shit. Techno's been doing better than I have recently. Yeah, okay. So it's a format where you team up with someone and you draft. Now, originally, because I've been in and out of the server, was it originally supposed to be like you played two different, like a low tier and a standard format? Why did you guys like sort of shift from that to just to being a standard format sort of thing? Like, because I remember when the discussion, like early in the discussion, was it not like, oh, you had a partner but you played 2 games, right? Or
Yeah, and that was one of the lessons learned that we had taken from the Mentor League, in that one of the things that we learned was that if you are going to schedule a time for ideally 4 people to sit down at the same time and play what turned out to be like an hour and a half game, it just made no logistical sense to then double that and say, hey, we're actually going to play 2 games, because either it's you play 2 of those hour games back to back, or you schedule for 2 different times for 4 people to show up, and that's just not feasible. So not only did we cut down from 2 games to the 1, we also put a clause in the rules section that said anybody can turn on timer whenever, because that was, oh god, that was painful. That resulted in some pretty sage WPF memes, like the BRB gotta go to dinner style thing.
yeah, I could imagine that taking a while, because just like spending 5 minutes squabbling over like, turn 2, do I click rocks or do I click taunt? I can kind of imagine it, especially like there are some WF players that do take a long time to just pick their moves.
Well, yeah, and that makes sense too. We didn't want to say that timer had to be required, but offering that ability to say like, hey, we are going to turn on timer, or if both teams are cool with it off, then cool, play with it off. But
Yeah.
that was something that I didn't feel like having a discussion about, where this person wanted it on, but this person didn't, and it was just counterintuitive to the whole thing. So I'm teaming up with Mr. Bagel Ghost himself, the Ghost X Bandit gentleman. Are you guys playing? I think you are, but I can't remember.
I am, yes. I'm playing with HZK, and that's been fun because I really haven't, outside of like helping him build a few times in like the build channels, haven't exactly interacted with HZK much before. So that's been really nice feature of this league.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sounds like a power team to me. I'm playing with Rom, the true
Oh,
king.
that's
Oh my
right.
god.
Yes, King Rom himself. You'd love to hear it.
And it's over. You've won.
Like, how do you even beat that? Yeah, I will say he is very thorough with the prep. So
Very thorough.
that's good to see.
Yeah.
If his prep is anything like his leaving picks, where he just writes like a paragraph, which I know it is because I've seen him prep. That's powerful.
Yeah, he's
True.
super thorough.
Yeah.
I remember he was telling me one time, I think that he will go through and make his full roster of 6 that he's ready to sort of mock with, and he'll ladder with it for like hours at a time, and he'll like tweak his sets that way, which is
Huh.
super weird to me, but if it works for him, which evidently it does, he won C Division last season,
Yeah.
but very unorthodox.
I mean, I guess it'll get you sort of used to figuring out how the team gels together, I suppose. Like, maybe, how do I put this? Like, you've got your 6, and you don't realize that, it doesn't actually have that much of a defensive backbone, but it's got a more offensive backbone. If that, like, sometimes things aren't about a team's synergy isn't obvious until you try it out, I suppose.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's hard testing those things against something that isn't indicative of what you're actually going to be playing against, though.
yeah.
So I can see where it's got positive and negatives.
Hmm.
I love
Yeah.
Rom, though. Ava,
Oh,
what did you and Rom
Go ahead.
draft? What sort of team did you and Rom draft? Like,
Oh baby.
oh,
The team is
baby.
the Swift Swimmers. So we have Pelipper, Mega Swampert, Zapdos,
Nice.
Ferrothorn is kind of the core.
Yeah.
We have a Blissey, Skuntank, and some. That's a gist though.
yeah, okay. So it is the Swift Swimmers. You're not like me and HCK, who we called ourselves the Erupting Heatrans, and then like cowards, we did not pick Heatran.
Oh
Not
no.
bad.
Yeah,
Well-
we are giant cowards.
No, that's okay. If you're a coward, I think Ghost and I are king cowards because we were the Sunflora warriors and we did not draft a Sunflora.
Are you saying you didn't draft Ninetales and Sunflora together?
I thought about it for maybe a quarter second, but the thought did cross my mind.
Let's pull up the calculator. Let's see what Sunflora can do. Oh, its base set is Sun Warbreaker. Fuck yeah.
Not a damn thing, I can assure you.
In the sun. Oh wait, no, it's got solar power. Does it not get chlorophyll? Oh, it has 30 base speed. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I think it's one of the worst fully evolved mons in the game. And that's saying something.
Sunflora, what is this? Pokemon Emerald Kaizo or something? No.
No, it does get chlorophyll. Yeah, it's chlorophyll, solar power, and early bird. That's not what I think of when I think of a bird.
Yeah. Okay. So
It doesn't even get weather ball.
Modest Sunflora does not outrun base 100 speed Pokemon in the sun. That's fantastic.
It's
Oh,
pretty
why are you
impressive.
so bad, Sunflora?
Looking at this Pokemon has made me close the window. And let's what else we got going here? What else we got going here?
Yeah, so that's it. So Duels is currently in the battle pool phase, right? So everybody will have 3 battles to do before the end of the month, and whatever. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Rom, if and when you listen to this this podcast, just know that you are going to clap my cheeks this week in EDC since you took over. I looked at the matchup earlier. I'm not very confident, so look forward to that win.
Okay.
And with that, we'll segue on to
We've talked about Rom clapping cheeks. They're the best
Yeah.
transition into the finals games.
yeah. I didn't really think it through, but we're here now, so it's
yeah.
fine.
So it just happened to coincide that we're starting Duels, and the last week of the regular season, season 8, is happening. So it's, pretty fortunate timing for any podcast related stuff. So the first one, we'll just go through them in order from sort of lowest skill to highest skill, which is why VGC will be last.
Rude.
Okay. Damn.
What? I said lowest skill to highest skill, which is why VGC's last. I'm literally saying VGC is the highest skill one.
I got it.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got T division. Pinorska's Princeton Pine Echoes versus Mr. Halex's Southeast Snorlaxes.
Wait, hold on. You say Pineco? You don't say Pineco?
Is it not
Are you
Pine
serious?
Echo?
No.
It's the Australian way.
It's literally a pine cone.
Yeah,
You don't
but
say Pinecone.
maybe you guys say aluminum, and that's just like
Yeah, but-
wrong. So you know
But
what?
that's not the word
Maybe
we're saying right
you
now.
guys can say aluminum, and I can say pineco, and we can all be happy.
Is it Pineco or Pineco?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, you just said it my way, so
Oh
I'm gonna claim
shit!
it. Anyway, yeah, no. So it's the second seed Pinorska versus the fifth seed Halleck.
Yes. So
Both mainstays in the division. Both good guys.
yeah, they're both good guys. They're both talented coaches. They both have pretty good rosters. Especially like Papadoska got Gallard and Garchomp is pretty nutty. And then he also got other really sort of he also got Aegislash, and I don't know. It's just I think that's a really strong offensive team, and it's it's a top heavy team, but the lower tiers are actually pretty good. So it's
I'm looking at Halex's roster here, and he does not have a Gallade switch in
no, he does
on
not.
his roster.
Um,
He's got an Azelf, and that's not the same thing.
he,
So I'm not sure what his plan is there, but man, he's got to have Reflect on something. Or matter of fact, that's exactly what he does. Because Weavile, Garchomp, Gallade, they're all just gonna poke.
I
physical
mean,
ability.
Garchomp's got crowned into Halex is terrible. So Garchomp can't just spam Earthquake because he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 immunities. Wait, 6 or 5? Yeah, no, 6.
Well, he's also got Serena, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, he's got 5 immunities and then a resistance arena, so it's Earthquake isn't that great to click, but close combat is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. I think if Garchomp does wind up coming, it's probably going to wind up being defensive or even utility with
Yeah.
Stealth Rock or.
I'm leaning towards Pinorska, I think, because that team's just so scary offensively, and Halex is going to struggle to check every single Pokemon that can come.
So yeah, every single one on Pinorska's roster can come, whereas if you look over at Alex, I don't really think Aerodactyl ever comes to any match ever, especially when there's a Weavile on the other side. It's just
I mean,
not
it's
that
faster
great.
than Weavile.
Yeah, but Ice Shard exists, but what it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
no, I think
Yeah,
Alex
I know
is really
what
going to
you
have a tough needle to thread this week.
Yeah. They're both good guys though, so I think it'll be a fun match, and I'll enjoy whoever wins this one.
For sure, yeah. Did they schedule yet? I think they did. No, they did. Saturday at 5 p.m. EST.
There you go.
3 days from now.
Any more thoughts on this matchup, guys?
Yeah, I think you guys covered most of it. I think Wheezing might be a spicy, fun pick, but I do think it leans a little towards Pinorska here.
Yeah.
He's just got such a good roster, man. I don't know.
That's criminal. It's not as good as I think it was last season, Ollie Boy's team, which was just busted, but this one's still
I
pretty
forget.
good.
Somebody traded him Dragapult and then dropped the league or something, right? Something crazy
No,
like that.
no, I think he just got Dragapult and Mega Mawile together,
Nuts.
and then he paired those up with Mandibuzz and Nidoking. I think.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very iconic John W. team.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool, man.
We've got C Division next.
DASA has one of my favorite logos ever, just because I'm from Oklahoma.
DASA, who came 5th with a 6-3 record, versus Bowser, who came 3rd with a 6-3 record, but slightly better differential.
I think before we actually talk about the matchup themselves, I do really want to point out, I think Bowser is one of the more most improved. Like if we had to assign a high school award to everybody in the division,
In the yearbook.
Bowser would definitely be most improved. So like last season, I don't think he had a good time at all, or it seemed to me if he was sort of evening out, like maybe he went like 4-4 or something. It seemed to me like he was losing more.
Yeah.
A lot. So the fact that he went from being either having a bad season or was mediocre or whatever to being in the championship, I think is an awesome turn of events for him. So I'm glad to see he was able to pull that off.
Oh, definitely. This is an interesting matchup, I suppose. Dus's team is really slow, like really slow. Which means their aura gets to run just like so much bulk in this matchup. And they've got, I think, 2 Pokemon that are faster than just Banded Urshifu.
Yeah, it's just Landorus and Infernape.
Yeah, and well, you've got Klefki with Prankster, right? And it's gonna like annoy Urshifu. But that's not great. I don't. I kind of wish I looked at this matchup before, and these matchups before I started this, so I could actually have opinions on this. I'm kind of forming them now.
No, and that's okay because we don't really need to go too far in depth because none of these matches have been played yet so far. So I feel like if we really go into a deep dive, then we're almost doing the coaches a disservice.
I'm an idiot. Klefki's Prankster doesn't fucking work on Urshifu. Oh,
I was kind of wondering what the point of that was.
Yeah. Look.
I mean, it still doesn't want to switch in just because if it catches a Dazzling Gleam, it's done.
Yeah, but so I think so.
This is going to be tough for Dasa. He's really going to have to get a lot of mileage out of his Landorus, which is going to be tough because that Slow King, one of the few sort of hard stops that it's got.
Slow King, and they've got Corviknight, and you've got Gravity Shenanigans with Landorus, but that's not something you want to rely on necessarily. And I feel like also they've only really got one. I guess the dragons. I don't know. It's an odd. I think Bass has got this. I think Zero.
I do too.
Very annoying.
It's going to be very, very punishing if Dasa, whatever. If he doesn't, I'm sorry, man, I don't know how to pronounce your name. If he winds up getting out of position versus Bowser, it's going to be a lot more scary than if Bowser were to get out of position for Dasa. Because worst case for him, he's going to wind up pivoting into his Slow King to eat the Landorus U-turn. Yeah. And then you sort of reset that interaction. Whereas if he gets a play wrong versus Urshifu, you lose Karen, you lose Muck, you lose,
Yeah.
I mean, Infernape is your dark resist, which isn't great.
Well, it's Infernape and Klefki, but
yeah.
Not the
when
best.
it gets all the elemental punches.
Muck, I guess, but Muck's more of a Spidef Pokemon.
I think Urshifu is often borderline bannable just because of the speed tier, and I think in this scenario, its speed tier is really doing it a lot of good against Dasa's team. I feel like Urshifu might just be able to clean up if they can get a good few leads.
Yeah. Anything else before we move on?
No, I'm good.
Good luck to both coaches. And then next we have the B Division Finals. Alphabet Boys Brooklyn Bewares versus... How do you say that? I got bullied for how I said Pineco, so I don't want to be bullied again. How do you say his username?
I think it's Kachurin?
Kachurin? I'm not sure. I've never actually heard his name pronounced.
Yeah, I've only read it. I always thought it was Kachurin.
Well, it's Kachurin then. So we've got Alphabet Boy came 4th with a 6-3 record, and Kachurin came 3rd with a 6-3 record as well. So they had very similar sort of records in regular division, and yeah, what do you all think about this matchup?
Normally I think Low Punny is pretty stacked, but into the opposing matchup, I think it's kind of like it's all right, but I don't think it's as good as it normally is.
I'm not the
Yeah, low pony is
biggest
dog
fan of it.
shit.
Yeah, why not?
I'm
Like,
sorry. Like,
Yeah,
I was so excited that it got close combat and U-turn with Gen 8, I think it was, or like one of the leaks. I honestly can't remember.
it's still good with return. Problem is,
No, it's not.
Is it?
I just got no, man. So I just got done using it for a whole season in EGA
Yeah.
in Emmy's league, right? I used it for like a full 9 weeks. I think I got like 6 or 7 kills out of it. It just was not. It was not performing because it didn't have the damage output that it needed. It's got very
Gotcha.
spammable moves, but so I actually used it in my quarterfinals match against Tyler B, and it did something like 28% to like a fully FizzDef Nido Queen with return. Like it needed to run Mega Kick anyway, and that was
Oh.
just ridiculous.
But you know, there is Encore Megalophony, which is just OP.
Oh, too soon. Too soon, man.
It's
got
okay.
me.
You can bully you can bully me when we get to the S diff one.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No, he played well. Encore Megalop was really solid. His team was very difficult to prep for because
Yeah.
it wasn't easy to just sort of slap on like body press, because you look at his team and you're like, oh, okay, like his flying type is Landorus, his poison is also a dark, and oh no, he's got a Talonflame. Whatever. Yeah, I couldn't quite make it happen. So I'm glad he wound up
Yeah,
moving
he's,
to final.
Yeah, I mean he's a good player with I think pretty okay. Like it's a team because I know people. Like, you just shit on Megalopony. A lot of people shit on Raikau, but I managed to make the playoffs with both of them. So that's or make the finals with both of them. So that's interesting.
What's that electric dog's name? Can you pronounce that for me?
Raikau?
No.
Uh-oh.
No.
Oh, did I say it wrong?
Raikou.
Oh, well there you go.
It's like erase the first R and A and put an H there. How would you pronounce that?
I don't read. I just say
Haiku.
things.
It's haiku. You wouldn't say haiku.
I would actually.
That-
Hi, Cat.
That's some Americanized bullshit right there.
But I'm not
Got the
American.
ransom
What the
back.
fuck do you want from me?
I just want to make fun of you, man. That's all I want.
You're a bully. Okay, I think I like Alphabet, but I don't actually know. I really do wish I actually paid attention to this before I looked up this matchup. I think Landorus is pretty good into this team, but it usually is.
It's interesting, actually. Hold on. So the C division, it's funny that the teams changed, obviously, but between DASA and C division and Alphabet Boy and B, the rosters are very similar. Like there's a Muck, there's a Landorus.
Yeah.
Everything else is relatively the same.
Trevenant and Decidueye are pretty similar typing, or same.
Yeah. That was kind of fun to see.
Spooky.
Spooky. Yeah, no, I think I personally like Kachurin here.
Okay.
He's been a mainstay with Swords Dance Mega Scizor this entire season, and that looks pretty good here. He's just got to
It
have
does,
superpower and get
Um,
rid of Talonflame's boots, and that's going to be hard to deal with.
Yeah, chip slow for put yeah, you'd have to actually you'd run. Is there actually a good technician bug move? Does Bug Bite activate technician? I think it does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. Doesn't love switching into that. There's still Registeel, but oh well.
I mean, Slowbro doesn't even really like switching into Scizor. He's going to wind up
No.
bringing full defensive Talonflame because that's the best he's got.
Yeah, sure. Just gotta watch out for Flame Body, really.
Yeah. It's cool actually because Weezing and Latias both get cleric moves, so he doesn't even really have to be that afraid of the status. I don't think.
Yeah,
but
sure. Okay.
We'll see.
Sure. I just Alphabet Boy's been pretty good recently, like especially in leagues outside of WPF. I think he did really well in, I think it was BBL, but I might be wrong. But he's beaten me like twice recently, so I kind of have to go for him.
Yeah, no, he definitely has been playing well.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay. Evan, do you have any comments, or who do you think's gonna win this one?
Yeah, I think this one's a lot closer just looking at the rosters than the other two, but I'm going to have to give the slight edge to Katurin here. Like you mentioned, I think the Caesar is pretty good, and he's got some good way to deal with Landorus as well.
Alrighty. Then we go to A division.
Weeb division.
Yeah, we've got. I stopped making notes at this point, so let me get up the A div doc.
We got Cyan Chimera and Ace
Yeah.
Sword.
I just wanted to know their positions.
So it was 8th seed Cyan versus 2nd seed A Sword.
Oh, interesting. I always love a good 8th seed making it to finals.
Yeah, no, we love to see it.
Yeah. So
I think in the same way that I would not have vibed at all with Kachurin's team from B Division, the complete opposite would be true of A Sword's team. I love every component on that team.
yeah,
Except for the Dark 3, but whatever.
I mean, it's 1 point. It's probably
You're never gonna bring it.
Yeah,
Fine.
exactly. Yeah, I think I like A Sword here. Yeah, it's Diancie is just so soul crushing into this.
Although I have no clue what Cyan does for Diancie.
Spadef Licky Licky, right? That's the answer.
See, not even, because physical Diancie is the thing.
Well, yeah.
So Diamond Form into
But
like body
physical
press.
Diancie isn't that great into Escavalier.
I mean, okay.
I mean, he does have a Cinderace, Flamethrower, Celesteela. I think he can deal with the Escavalier here.
Yeah, true.
Slowking also gets fire coverage,
Yeah, no, actually that's fair. I don't know. It's
as does Druddigon. If we're gonna do like Sheer Force, Life Orb, Druddigon stuff.
that's actually powerful.
Yeah, no, that's a real thing. I've seen that before. Fire type Silvally, yeah, he's got a way around that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, like, no, this is I definitely am Team A Sword here. Not to say I think this is a completely unwinnable matchup, but it is like.
I don't know, no, because he's still got like Bullet Punch on Mega Medicham. Like that,
Yeah.
that's not as open and shut as you would think.
Yeah, and you know, if you do predict what Deontay's coming, like he can be a okay check to it.
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure it gets a steel move that isn't steel roll.
Which one is this?
That Licky probably gets a steel move that isn't steel roller, right?
It gets Gyro Ball.
Yeah, well there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think it's unwinnable, but I'm definitely in Team A Sword here, looking at the matchup.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Celesteela. Like I'm not a fan because I don't like playing against it. And I think that he's got some good like Celesteela Swampert. Kind of takes out anything he could use to take it out, like Thundurus or Darmanitan. Swampert kind of takes both of them. I think that could be really frustrating to work around.
It's frustrating for Cyan too, because if he were to bring a very bulky Jellicent with like Strength Snap, like Toxic or Wisp and Hex, and do that whole bulky shtick, then like Celesteela can still Giga Drain, and the high HP stat is going to wind up working against him. So I don't know. I still really think it's like 7-3 if we're talking in odds. But I'm not going to count him out because Cyan obviously made it to finals, so he knows how to use his team.
He does have a very strong logo game going on.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I love it.
I don't know why Eevee and Slurpuff are part of a scary bird squad, but they're here.
I'd be very curious to hear that from him as well. Yeah, I don't know the backstory.
My favorite bird, Eevee.
Or Waylord, right? Is that one of the birds? Like we had our whole horse Nagang thing going on?
Yeah, no, it does. Actually,
Nagang?
Waylord does float, technically. It would float because it is less dense than air.
It's ridiculous. Oh, speaking of
True.
on whoa, what was I going to say there? Speaking of like great logos, let's go ahead and peek over at S Division.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
got
that's a good transition. Oh god, they're both great, but Mexico
they're
City
so
Warbreakers.
good.
Oh, it's the best thing.
They're very
I
like
really, I
they're very
really
like
like Kyle's too. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, sorry. They're both really well done. They're definitely like not a typical logo you'd see, you know, but they both look great.
Those are S Division logos for sure.
Yeah, this is, look, we might be dead, but we've got good logos, so suck it.
Mhm.
So I played both these coaches, and they both clapped me, so that's good to know. So knowing that,
I like both their teams.
Yeah.
They're probably teams I myself wouldn't draft. I really enjoyed Mega Garchomp last time I used it, but I wasn't able to use it to its full potential, and I don't really vibe with Corviknight that much, if I'll be honest. But really, the rosters themselves are super well rounded, and if Luffy is serious about taking home that chip, he's going to bring either Swanna or Misdreavus to finals, or else.
you'll be banned. Banned, I tell you.
It's not a real chip unless you bring the memes.
Yeah.
What were the standings for these two?
They were. Oh, okay, I know Luffy was first by a long shot. He lost one game all season, and that was the last round where he only bought Mega Garchomp against Majora. So.
No, he.
Oh wait,
seven.
he lost the second. When did he lose the second one?
I don't know.
Oh wow, okay. I gave fake news, and Leo was 7th with a 5-4 record.
Nah. He lost to Harris and Majora.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
who that was.
Okay, well, I was wrong. Sorry for the misinformation. Yeah.
Man.
So
number one.
both of these coaches have beaten me. Luffy last week in semis, and Leo I think in regular season. So I can say I do think Leo is. I think Leo has a better matchup here. Just because like. Rillaboom's really scary, I feel. Like, really scary in this matchup.
It is. It definitely is. If he's like Swords Dance, he could like
the
Lariat.
fire type is Infernape, the flying type is Swanna. Like,
Yeah.
It's
You're really not wrong. Yeah, just the presence of Rillaboom on the other team means that you can't do like Shell Smash Blastoise stuff either.
yeah, exactly.
Which is really annoying.
It's very limiting. It's just it's such a good Pokemon, Rillaboom.
Well, he's also got Intimidate cycle.
Yeah.
He's got Goldfish Lando.
Yeah. So I'm leaning towards Leo because this is. I think Kyle could still win, but I think he's going to sort of struggle, especially like Rillaboom. I'm just going to put so much pressure on him. That what would like? Yeah, I don't. I'm leaning towards Leo. What do you two think?
Go ahead, Ava.
Yeah, I really like Leo's team as well. Definitely something I would use more than Luffy's. And you mentioned Rillaboom, Corviknight. Corviknight's maybe not as great here as normal, but it's still like it's just Corviknight, you know.
Yeah, but it's like even.
And then the
like,
Big T, it's very strong.
I think even.
Yeah,
like Coco
Luffy has
Power.
definitely got ways here to apply enough offensive pressure, but it's gonna be hard, man. But I said it. I said it in one of his other matches I joined fairly recently. Always faith in Luffy.
Yeah,
I got love for Leo. He's the homie for a couple seasons now, but that's my boy right there. Is Kyle.
Oh yeah, you can still win because respect to both these two.
Number one seed for a reason.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We get
True.
to the best division.
Oof.
VGC division. which
Take it
is,
away, Mr. VDC.
Here we go. Here we go. Here's the good division, everybody.
Now give us something to talk about.
Okay. So you see, we got some crazy stuff going on. You see, there's a Zacian and there's a Groudon. Because we got a restricted format. Miso and Shiny Pika, I believe, are 4th and 3rd seed. And honestly, I think if anything is gonna come up to potentially deal with Zacian, it's gonna be Groudon is like one of the contenders. Miso and Shawnee both kind of got into the div through a couple of the speed tours we did, and they both did really well there. So I'm really glad that the newcomers made it to the finals.
Yeah, man. So Groudon, I've got a bone to pick with Groudon. It's frustrating because it makes sense because it's like the tectonic Pokemon, right? So it's sole ground typing, but it's got such a fire theme to it. I'm really annoyed that it doesn't have fire ground or like fire rock maybe or something like that.
It's got like a bunch of fire moves.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and once it primal evolves,
Yeah.
it becomes fire ground, I think.
Yes, it
But
does.
Yeah,
like you look at this matchup and you mentioned Avent that like that's probably one of his Shanapika's premier Zacian counters. Doesn't actually resist its dual stab. It's thick.
that's
It's got
true.
super
That's
stat.
it doesn't resist, and Behemoth Blade does do double damage to Dynamax. So even if you max it, you're not taking any less damage. But if you go full bulk, you still might be able to KO with a Precipice Blades and a little bit of support.
Groudon is very physically bulky. Like, I think.
Very
Right?
physical, yeah. It's funny going back and looking at the stat distributions for all the box legendaries because Game Freak just took the same. They did the same thing with like the evolutions, right? Where they took the same stat distributions and just shuffled around the base stats, right? So
Yeah.
like with Eevees, it's like there's always a base 130 stat, there's a base 65, right? And they just switch it around. Versus the box legendaries, they'll be like, all right, well this one's got 150, some are 120, and then some are 110, right? So Groudon is just super thick.
True.
True.
I do think both teams have a lot of options too. From Miso's end, we see obviously Zacian. We also see Urshifu single strike. That's just a lot of pressure. I've seen him clean up with it a lot. And then we have things like Steam Engine Colossal with Primarina. We could even see like a Prankster Rain Dance Thunderous Primarina just to hit hard. So I think his is a little more top heavy. And then Shawnee Pika's, we've seen Dynamax Moltres Latias with Weakness Policy from Comfy with Priority Draining Kiss. And then we also have a good Trick Room mode with Stack Attacka, which I'm also a big fan of. Maybe not great against Zacian, but probably pretty good against Red.
It's super interesting looking at these rosters for me as somebody who's like familiar with VGC on the surface level, but just seeing how their composition is drastically different from something you would see in like a standard league where like the first half of the mons are like your actual sort of damage doers, but then you have to define the sort of component pieces to support them, right? So like the bottom half of the roster is memes is the wrong word, but they're not going to win games on their own, right? So like when Shanapika loads up the team builder, he's not putting Ninjask, Riolu, or Torracat in there because they're going to 6-0. Like he's putting them in there with explicit utility purposes to sort of make his bigger mon shine, and that's very interesting to me.
For sure. And I love seeing things like Riolu and Torracat be viable. Some unevolved mons getting some love.
That's the.
It's
glory
weird
of
that it
Groudon.
got Frank and that just went away for when it evolved.
Oh, Riolu? Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good skill matchup. There's a lot of options for both teams to anticipate. I want to give it to Miso because he's a little bit ahead with the Zacian. The first half of the season, he was just absolutely sweeping. But I think Shawnee Pika may be a underdog.
I don't know. I think just by the virtue of the team composition, it's going to be too much for him to take. So I'm Team Miso here, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. You know, I know literally nothing about VGC. I don't remember a single thing about the one season I played, so I can't exactly give good analysis or tips. But I'm just gonna go with Miso specifically because he beat my boy Electric last round, so that means he's gonna win.
That was heartbreaking.
Oh, Jinx couldn't do it anymore. It was so sad.
Cool, man. Yeah. Here, matter of fact, Keith, you don't know anything about VGC. Tell me
No.
who's got your favorite mon on the screen here.
My favorite what?
Your favorite mon between the two teams.
I mean, like, personally, or just like what I think is the best Pokemon?
No, personally, dude, your favorite
Oh.
Pokemon.
Personally,
right there.
oh god, my favorite Pokemon. Personally, you know what? Groudon, because I had
There you
Ruby
go.
as a kid.
All right, so we got two thinking Shanapika's gonna win, and I'm all by myself with Miso. We'll see how it goes.
Wait, what? That was my tip. What?
Oh, wait,
Yeah,
what?
that was you just threw that dice out there in the world. You rolled for Shanapika, so we'll see.
Okay,
All right.
I'll take it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's it. Those are the 6 final matches happening this week. Not all of them have been scheduled, I think. So, Leo and Luffy are happening on Friday. Sunday for Cyan, Chimera, and Asword. Alphabet Boy and Kachurin are still not scheduled. It's Wednesday night at Johners. Dasa and Bowser are playing Thursday at 3 p.m. Hallex and Panorska are playing Saturday at 5. And then Miso and Shanapika are also not scheduled. You damn dirty Johners.
Come on.
Come
It's,
on.
you know,
What are they
Look.
doing?
nothing could be as bad as like Trickhouse Gengar taking like Wednesday of the next week, so it's fine.
But it happened. It finally happened.
Yeah, it did.
I liked watching that.
Did not get to watch it. I was preparing for this. I'll watch it when it's.
It was, yeah, you should watch it back. It was solid plays from both sides.
Gotcha. Well, does anyone have anything else to say, or should we?
I think we're good. We can close it out if you guys just want to say something quickly, or...
Something quickly.
Incredible.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to Duels, and I enjoyed this season of WPF. I hope season 9 is, when it does happen, is as good. Yeah. I do think this was actually a pretty fun season for WPF. My team was weird and jank, but it was, like Triple Ho and starter, but that's the sort
By
of
design.
stuff
Yeah,
I
you
like.
always do that. Don't act like they were forced on you,
But it
Mr.
what? Like it's like oh yeah, they were bad. Like it's like like the actual. I didn't have mono bad matchups. I had some, but for a jank team, it was fine. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to season 9. How about you two?
Yeah, same thing, Really looking forward to next season. It's
Are we
been
going
fun
to
so
see
far.
the debut of singles event?
Oh, that's something I'm interested in.
You
not
might
gonna lie.
you might finally figure out why Torn T is good.
Yeah,
True.
well,
D-Div, here I come.
you got to venture out of your comfort zone, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
but-
sure. You'll.
So we...
True.
I'm not entirely sure when this video is going to wind up going up. I'm sure Keith will work on it over the next day or two or whatever. But be on the lookout for some exciting stuff probably coming this Sunday, or Monday, depending on when we get it rolled out. But we got a cool new project coming out, and I think the community at large is going to like it. We were talking about it a little while ago before we started recording, but we'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so.
Hope you guys enjoy. That should wrap it up.
Yeah. See y'all.
Have a good one.
Bye.